Therefore, there will be high crime rate because people will be moving from the rural areas to urban areas with the intention of getting houses. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the best way to treat this housing menace is simple, Mr. Speaker. Let the government come up with proper infrastructure. For example, construction of electric rails where we will have electric trains, where a person in Kisumu can board an electric train.
Thank you.
Working.
Thank you. The Honorable Mishi Mbogo.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia mimi naunga mkono viongozi ambao wamekataa ushuru kwa mambo ya kujenga ujenzi wa manyumba. Nataka niseme wafanyikazi wa umma kwa miaka mingi hawajaongezwa mishahara. Kwanza tungefikiria tatizo hilo la kuongeza mishahara kwa wafanyikazi wa umma, ndiposa tuweze kutoa ushuru katika zile pesa zao. Pesa za Wakenya zimekuwa zinatozwa ushuru tofauti tofauti, mpaka mtu akipata ile pesa yake anaona hakuna pesa ambayo amepata. Swali ni kwamba ikiwa mimi na mume wangu sote ni wafanyikazi wa umma na tunakatwa hizo pesa za mambo ya nyumba, je, sisi tunataka nyumba mbili? Je, tumeulizwa kama tutapenda nyumba moja ama tutataka nyumba mbili?
Honorable Alice Ng'ang'a. Honorable Alice Ng'ang'a.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, where I come from my constituency, I have a slum called Kiandutu, and I would want the Kiandutu people to have decent housing. Chair, once you give those people, we used to be told the three basic needs is food, clothes, and shelter. We are giving these people proper shelter. And Chair, I know the other side, they don't want us to give these slum people decent shelter, so that when the campaign period comes, they want these people all the time to keep on clapping for them when they are poor and they're in a poor state. We need to give these people the dignity they deserve. They want Kibera to remain Kibera so that they can find a place where they'll be campaigning all the time, because those people are vulnerable. It's a high time as a nation we say enough is enough and we give every Kenya a decent housing project.
Thank you.
They have to live with that.
Thank you. Honorable Nyoro.
Honorable Chair, mine is on procedure, and I request you that you rule, because Honorable Chair, we've been listening to the several amendments in terms of deletion. My request to you, Chair, is that then you allow the Chair for Finance to put forth his amendments, and therefore, Chair, when we vote to the Chair's amendment, then automatically, as Honorable Karuma had suggested, then the rest falls, Honorable Chair. That is my request, Honorable Chair.
The honorable members, the order. The consequence of the Honorable Lord's amendment is that if it is passed, then the matter ends there. There's nothing to talk about. And that's why you have to spend it. I want that to be understood very well. And I want us to be procedural. That order, members, order. We had 8 amendments with the same effect, deleting. And we have allowed members to ventilate on this matter. I'm going to give the last 2 to the leaders, both sides, leaders, not members anymore, leaders, and then we proceed to division. The Honorable Njoki Irene.
Thank you, Chair. It is very ironical when we sit here as members of parliament, we are getting loans of 3%, yet we don't want the normal hustler to get a loan of 3%. It is shameful, very, very shameful. It is very shameful when we, as members of parliament, we have hustlers in our constituencies. We don't want them to pay mortgages of 5,000 shillings where they can afford. We want them to pay mortgages of 15,000 shillings. I tell our people, please let your people benefit. And I, from Bahati constituency, as the main beneficiary in Bahati, where I don't even own a bank in Bahati, I will support this because my people will get jobs, we shall be able to get businesses, and we shall be able to generate income, and income will revolve around my constituency and other constituencies.
Thank you. Thank you. This chance now goes Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Chair, let me just say a few things. First and foremost, Chair, as I've said before, this housing levy or tax, in my view, is the mother of all scandals in this finance bill. If you ask me, there are very many other scandals in this bill, but this is the mother of all scandals. Mr. Chair, and I also want to say this, that this housing levy is akin to a pyramid scheme. Because as we speak, without the infrastructure, without the mechanisms, without the framework for administering it, we are basically throwing good money after bad money. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, let me say this. I am sure the average age of members of parliament in this house is about 40 years or so. Let me ask you, say 50. Let me ask you, for the time you have lived on this earth, in your village, who have you ever heard that has died because of lack of house or shelter? Who has died in your village for lack of a house? I can tell you, the majority of the people who have died in the villages have died because of hunger, lack of food. I can tell you, who did this survey or research to come up with this need for houses for Kenyans? Who asked you for houses? Who asked you? Why are you addressing a problem that is not there? Why can't you deal with the problem which is there, which is lack of food, Mr. Chairman? Why? Why are you insisting? Why are you insisting on providing a house to somebody who is starving? Mr. Chair, it is unbelievable that we want to tax Kenyans. In fact, this animal has continued to mutate. It was initially a fund, it became a saving, it became a circle, it became a fine, it went and became a penalty, now it is a tax. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, this animal, this mongrel called housing...
Thank you. Add in 1 minute, I agree.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very, very much for that indulgence. Yes. And therefore, really, if we want to save Kenyans, let us not indulge in this kind of scandalous adventure. We cannot afford to get into this kind of scandalous adventure when Kenyans are dying of hunger. Deal with the immediate problem, which is to address the issue of lack of food.
Thank you. The Honorable Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with the Leader of Minority. We need to deal with the scandalous adventure of millions of Kenyans living in slums. We need to deal with the scandalous adventure of millions of Kenyans going without food. And he has asked us very pertinent questions. Why are we worrying about shelter and not food? We are worrying about shelter and food at the same time. The reason why we have no food, why we are food insecure in this country today, is because millions of acres of land in Kiambu County, in Nakuru, in Karachuonyo constituency, in Narok, all over the country, where people are farming, we have disintegrated all that land to build slums in this country today. That is why we are food insecure today, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I will beg for your protection, as I protected the Leader of Minority, from members of the Kenya Kwanza Coalition. Honorable Speaker, we are being told by the Minority Whip that, like the Railway Development Levy, this housing levy, probably speculating that it may be opened up at some time in the near future to other uses. Minority Whip, I want to assure you the housing levy, as early as tomorrow or the day we do the appropriations bill, we shall ring fence this money to go only to housing, and we shall be appropriating
the 73 billion shillings coming out of this levy to go to the Ministry of Housing to deal with affordable housing in Suna East constituency, amongst the 100 constituencies. Honorable Speaker, ask the Honorable Junet to hold on. The Honorable Senior Counsel Otiende Omolo. And you know, the Honorable Senior Counsel speaks good English, as much as he never went to Alliance. But he went to a good school. And in his good English, he may convince the world to believe that he's the only one who can read this Constitution. But this Constitution, Honorable Speaker, the heart and soul of this Constitution is... Honorable Speaker, can you protect me? Honorable Speaker, you know, Senior Counsel is a good
Order,
lawyer.
Honorable Junet, order. The majority leader will be heard in silence.
I will stone you, Junet.
The Honorable Junet, resume your seat. No. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the protection. I know Honorable Junet is averse to the truth when the truth is being laid bare. I was speaking to my good brother, Senior Counsel Otiende Omolo. The heart and soul of this Constitution that you wrote is the Bill of Rights in Chapter 4. In this Bill of Rights, other than the Schedule 4 that you are talking to on the functions of county governments and the functions of the national government, under Article 43 of the Constitution, the right of every Kenyan to accessible, adequate housing and to reasonable standards of sanitation, not in slums. Reasonable standards is a right enshrined under the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is the soul of our Constitution. If there is anything to protect in this Constitution, Honorable Speaker, is the Bill of Rights. And in pursuit
Honorable,
of
proceed to wind up.
Honorable Speaker, just
order, members. Order, members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Order. Members, you know, I've seen those who want to speak. We have time because once, allow me, I've noticed Honorable Wanjala, I've noticed everyone else want to speak on this. Once we finish this matter, there will be another amendment which will speak to. Allow him to finish. We proceed with this process. Honorable Majority Leader, please proceed to wind up.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for your protection. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me...
Allow him to wind up. Allow him to wind up. Allow him to wind up. Proceed, please.
Honorable Speaker, I beg that you add me the 2 minutes that have been wasted with the shouting on points of order, frivolous ones. But I was saying this, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Watch, resume your seat and allow Majority Leader to finish his contribution. Then I will be able to see what to do about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I was saying the heart and soul of our Constitution is the Bill of Rights. Fittest to argue that since housing under Schedule 4 of our Constitution is a function of the county government, that it is unconstitutional. The Bill of Rights is the heart and soul of this Constitution. Just like, Honorable Speaker, if we appropriate national government resources or resources raised by government through taxation to health care, that is outrightly a devolved function, we also can appropriate resources to housing, just like we appropriate resources to deal with health care, that is a devolved function, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also heard my good friend Otiende Omolo tell my majority whip that in his village in Kisii, he cannot live on the 8th floor. He must build a shanty in his village. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, the future is urban. And with urbanization, that is how we shall grow our economy. With urbanization and building of these houses, Honorable Speaker, we have said it numerous times that this is beyond housing. It is about millions of our youth who are languishing in poverty, who are languishing without jobs in our slums. Millions of youth in Kathiani constituency, lawyers, engineers, who will access jobs, architects who will access jobs. It is not just about the manual jobs. It is about lawyers.
Thank you. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, wind up.
50 seconds to finish that point.
Proceed.
And I was mentioning Kaltiani for deliberately, because the Honorable Mbui told us that housing will not create architectural jobs. It will not create jobs for doctors. It will not create for engineers, for lawyers. Honorable Mbui, I want to tell you, all those jobs will be created by housing through urbanization. Even doctors, when people live together, will be able to amalgamate land and secure food security for the people of Ukambani, who for many years have had to depend on relief food.
Thank you. Thank you. No, members, allow me to guide this way. We are doing very well, members. Allow me to guide this way. Just like I've allowed order, just like I've allowed members to debate on the Honorable Watch's amendment, I will have a chance to give a couple of you again on the chair's amendments so that we make progress. Those who went to Alliance or those who went to Butler Boys like me will have a chance to say something on this bill. So I would then therefore propose that we are now going to, after this, so honorable members, I therefore proceed to put the question. Members, remember we had amendments by the Honorable Oluoch, Honorable Nyukal, Honorable Makali Mulu, Honorable Wundo, Honorable Kaluma, Honorable Mbui, Honorable Basil. Members, the upshot of our vote is that if the vote is carried, then we have carried the vote for the 7. If it fails, it also fails with it. So therefore, members, I proceed to put the question that clause 76 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Watch. I put the question that clause 76 be deleted. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of that contrary opinion say nay? Obviously, the nays have it. The nays have it. That's Brett. Thank you. Order, members. Order. Order. Little Manjala, order. Now, this is now the time for the chair to move his amendment.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I beg to move. Please protect me from the noise from behind. I can't hear myself. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 76 be amended as per the order paper. And Honorable Chair, I'll beg to move a further amendment to that clause 76. We had a deliberation with the Honorable Caleb Mule, the Member of Parliament from Machakos Town constituency, and he had this proposed amendment to clause 2A that we have agreed to carry on with the recommendations by our committee as a committee amendment, that an additional clause 2A be added to read as follows: the affordable housing levy shall not be used for any other purpose other than development of affordable housing and associated social and physical infrastructure, as well as the provision of affordable home financing to Kenyans. So beg to move that the amendment be done as per the order paper with that additional amendment as we've carried as proposed by the Honorable Caleb Mule, the MP for Machakos Town constituency. I have a few notes, a point of information on this. The question I've been asked, first of all, why is it on gross pay and not on basic pay? The proposal before us, first of all, was that this be done at the rate of 3%. And after public participation, we agreed that 3% will be too high to start with. Let us shelve that by half to 1.5%. The question is, do you make it basic or do you make it gross? If you make it basic, honorable members, it defeats the whole purpose. For what reason? If someone has a salary of 100,000 shillings in the private sector, and you say that this particular levy is going to be based on their basic pay, so they're going to use what you call in accounting tax planning and reduce their basic pay to 20,000 shillings, and the 80,000 shillings will be allowances. So that means that the objective of the 73 billion shillings, as alluded by the Leader of Majority, that is targeted to build affordable housing for Kenyans, will be defeated. Secondly, the initial bill had a proposal to have a cap of 2,500 shillings for employer and 2,500 shillings for employee. And Honorable Chair, this particular provision was, we agreed as a committee we're going to delete. For what reason? For you members of parliament that earn an income of above 500,000 shillings, for example, if you capped this to the amount of salary that members of parliament earn is public knowledge. So, okay, for someone who earns 500,000 shillings, let me use as an example. If you cap their contribution to 2,500, then it will mean they're not contributing, that if they even earlier proposed 3%. For what reason? Because the 2,500 divided by 500,000 shillings is 0.005%, which would mean that that particular capping was advantageous to those people that are earning more, but punitive to those people that are earning less. That is why the committee recommended for total deletion of that capping. Because it would, however, anybody would have argued that it was discriminatory for those people who are earning less and advantageous to those people who are earning more. On the question of this affordable housing, because I want to make this last contribution, we have, as at yesterday, 42 signed memorandum of understanding between the State Department of Housing and county governments. And key to note is that the 42 county governments are across the political divide. So our governors, both Kenya Kwanza governors and Azimio governors, have actually signed MOUs with the State Department of Housing, giving land in their counties to be used for affordable housing. Everyone is agreeing that this is a noble cause, and that is why I beg that this House agrees with the amendments as proposed by the committee. And with that, I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. I now propose the question that Clause 76 be amended as proposed by the Chair of the Finance Committee. The members, we agreed we will give, first of all, there's order members, the Honorable Mule. Honorable Mule had an amendment which was carried, so I would like him to just say a word. Okay, the Honorable Wanjala. Oh, the Honorable Mule, go ahead. 1 minute, Honorable Mule. It's okay. As we get Honorable Mule, let's get Honorable Wanjala. 1 minute.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. Chairman, we have institutions in this country that can build houses. And Mr. Chairman, these houses have not been started to be constructed by Kenya Kwanza government. The former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and the former President Mwai Kibaki started construction of affordable houses, and they never taxed anybody. Mr. Chairman, Uhuru has been building houses. He has never taxed anybody. And we have specific housing institutions. We have NSSF that is supposed to construct houses. We have National Housing Corporation is supposed to build houses. And then we have we have finance, NAPTRUST, Mr. Speaker. I was in Rwanda 2 weeks ago. They are constructing houses, but they are not levying anybody, they are not taxing anybody. Mr. Chairman, this is a scandal in the offing, like the golden bag. Because even as we are talking today, NSSF coffers is empty. They have already washed it. It is, they have taken all the money, it is empty. The same way they will deal with the issue of the house.
Thank you. The Honorable Mule, who was supposed to get, I don't know whether you can find him now.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, mine is just to thank the Finance Committee for accepting to to adopt my proposed amendment. The proposed amendment as it is in clause 76, 31B3, as it is in the order paper, that the affordable housing levy not to be used for any other purpose other than the development of affordable housing. Basically, this was to ring-fence the funds not to be used in any other purposes other than to build houses, affordable houses.
Thank you.
Chair,
Thank you.
Chair, just a minute, Chair. This was necessitated by other funds that have been there in the country, like the sports fund. The sports fund was set aside to grow and develop sports, which does not do that, does not serve that purpose. So, Honorable Chair, I thank the...
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable members, I proceed to put the question that clause 76 be amended as proposed by the chair of the Finance Committee. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of that contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now proceed to put the question. I now put the question that clause 76 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.